and welcome to Eat Well with Parkinson's. Good to see our live audience guests with us today. Welcome and thank you for being here. If you're not with us here on set at LTV Studios, you'll be able to watch at home. My name's Sarah.
And I'm Paula.
We're going to be your hosts today. Before we get started, I do want to provide a little bit of information about why we are doing this program. Parkinson's disease is a neurodegenerative neurological disorder. It is the fastest growing brain disorder worldwide. The rates of Parkinson's disease have doubled in the past 20 years, and we expect that they're going to double again in the next 20 years. If you don't know someone with Parkinson's disease, there's a really good chance that you will at some point in your lifetime. At the moment, to date, there's no known cure for Parkinson's disease, but we do know that we can live well by exercising, sleeping, decreasing stress, and
eating healthy and
eating well. Yeah. So we're here. We come once a month to share delicious, nutritious, easy to make recipes, and also share some very important nutritional information, which I have to say, yes, is relevant to people living with Parkinson's disease, but I think can benefit all of us as well.
especially the recipes. I feel like they're very adaptable to a healthy lifestyle, trying to get in colorful fruits and vegetables, trying to get into healthy proteins. So every recipe is something that's meant to be shared.
Yeah, and enjoyed. What are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about food apathy. Now we know sometimes patients with Parkinson's disease get apathy when they don't feel like doing anything, they don't feel like getting out of bed, they're not motivated to exercise or to eat right. So when we take that and we combine food apathy, what happens with food apathy is they have a decreased interest in food, they have a decreased taste, they have decreased pleasure in eating. So the real goal is to try and help them eat better so we can prevent malnutrition and prevent weight loss. So when we talk about food apathy, we're really just trying to change their focus, trying to present healthy, flavorful food, present colorful food, give them something to look forward to when mealtime comes around.
So apathy is a symptom of Parkinson's disease, and it affects a lot of people who live with Parkinson's disease. And I know for some of our other programs, exercising as a group can be very motivating and help people get over that sense of disinterest or lack of motivation. You're going to teach us some tips and tricks as it relates to the kitchen?
Yes, because I believe too, one of the things I feel like people, when they are invested in the preparation of the food and they see it and they smell it in the kitchen, they're more likely to be engaged and want to taste the food.
So it can also become a social event.
Yes,
right?
A big social event.
What are we making today?
So today we are making a apple cider vinegar chicken, and we're making a warm salad with shiitake mushrooms, delicata squash, and string beans. So we're trying to get the fall flavors into the studio right here, and hopefully you can smell it cooking, and hopefully you'll enjoy the taste. And if you're not with us, you'll enjoy the taste at home when you try our recipes.
Great.
Okay. So I'm going to get started. So it's already getting hot. Of course, I put it up too high.
We'll figure out this stovetop eventually.
So to give a little bit more flavor, we're going to use those pumpkin pie type of warm spice. Oh my God, I might go up there.
What's the first recipe?
This is the harvest chicken.
This is harvest apple cider chicken.
So you're going to gently put some salt and pepper and some harvest spices, cinnamon, coriander, nutmeg onto the chicken. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper as well, just for flavoring the broth and also flavoring the chicken. I like to pat it down so the flavors get into the meat, but also into the broth. And then I'm going to flip them over and do the same on the other side.
And you've got a little bit of oil warming in the pan.
Getting very hot in the pan. Okay. And the reason why we like these spices and flavors together, because they go really well with apples. It almost tastes like apple pie. We also have apple cider and apple cider vinegar in this recipe also to bring out those good flavors.
And we have access to incredible local apples and apple cider this time of year.
Yeah.
We're very lucky.
And the other thing is we always talk about, for people with Parkinson's disease, we're trying to support their gut. So we're actually using apple cider vinegar in our sauce. And we use apple cider vinegar because it has what we call the mother in it. So the mother is actually raw probiotics that is in the apple cider that helps support our gut microbiome and helps support our gut, which is very, very critical for patients with Parkinson's disease. Okay, and the reason why it's so critical is because we want the healthy bugs or the healthy good bacteria to be in our system to populate and to also help us with bowel movements. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're just going to brown it. You can turn the camera down if you please. We're also going to just brown it on two sides for about 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. Can you put the camera on the chicken? Okay. So we use a Dutch oven because we want to have a little bit more room to create or develop the sauce. So I'll just show you what it looks like. We're just browning it to make it brown. Okay?
And it smells delicious already. You can
Already because
really
of the
smell
spices.
some
I
of
mean,
those
you could add a
harvest
little bit
spices.
extra of the spices as well. I just keep them on hand. Okay. Oh, can you grab a plate?
Yeah,
A clean one though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So again, it's 2 minutes on each side to brown it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set the chicken aside. And then we're going to saute our vegetables. So today we're going to use another vegetable that you might not be familiar with. It's fennel. Sarah, can you grab the
I
fennel?
sure will. This is what it looks like. And
Okay.
it smells delicious.
So fennel is anise or anise bulb. If you're Italian, you might have it at the end of a meal for digestion to kind of, okay. So this is our chicken. It's just browned and ready to go, and it has a little bit flavor because we caramelize it, and it has the healthy warm spices on it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more oil just to make sure we have enough to our pot. And then this is the thinly sliced fennel. So it's one of those tricks of the trade for a healthy, flavorful sauce. Sometimes if you're a person that likes a bouillabaisse and you're wondering what that flavor in it, that's a little bit of anise kind of flavor. That's what the fennel is. Okay. Sarah, while I'm cooking this, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about food preparation and why it's so important.
I will. So, when we talk about apathy, like Paula told us, it's a sense of disinterest or a lack of motivation. Paula is teaching us today some beautiful, delicious recipes that include different flavors that make it more interesting to eat and to entice our palate and our appetite. And one of the other tricks is to become involved in the process of cooking as well. So helping to prep the food earlier in the day when you have the most energy, when your medications are working most optimally, and saving that for cooking later, working with your loved ones, your family to prep the meal so that you also become interested in the process. And then, of course, sharing the meal together, making it a social event, taking the time to sit with one another and to connect while you eat.
Okay, so you
Should I show some of the?
Yeah. So when you cut anything, it should be a flat surface. So cut the apples straight down the middle so it's flat. Anything that you cut should be on a flat surface so you're cutting and your knife is not moving. And of course, we want to be safe when we're using our knife. So really assess if you're feeling up to it for the day. And then when you do the apple, you want to just use a regular knife, or we also have something called the ulu knife.
I'll show that to everyone.
Yeah. So
And I'll just say too, I have not peeled the apple. If you have difficulties chewing or swallowing, I would recommend that you take the peel off the apple first. And
so
then,
just show them the ulu knife. So this is a nice rocker knife. It's really nice to use. I was exposed when my sister lived in Alaska when they have ulu knife came from Alaska. So
yeah, and it sort of rots.
So it cuts and it cuts nice and evenly, but you don't put as much pressure on the knife. You can't get your fingers stuck underneath because your fingers are on top.
Yeah. So good tricks.
And they're available online and they're available in cooking stores as well.
Yeah.
And the other nice little kitchen gadget that I like.
So this is for crushing garlic. We don't have any garlic to crush today, but it's a great tool. You just put the clove of garlic down and you can mash it. And again, it has this amazing grip. It makes it easier, enables you to be involved in the process of cooking. And I'll also say I'm trained as a physical therapist, so I love to find all ways to work our fine motor and our large motor skills, but this is a great way also to work your fine motor skills, right? You can work your hand grip strength as well as being engaged in the process of cooking and socially connected with your family.
Okay, so I just put a little more salt to sweat the vegetables a little bit, and I'm going to add the shallots, which I realized I should have put the shallots in first, but it all tastes great when it comes out.
It's gonna be great.
Okay, and what we're doing is we're really just sweating them down to give them a little caramelization, soften them a little bit. Okay.
Ooh, that looks good.
Is it burned? Okay. And you also can scrape the brown bits from the chicken, so they get incorporated into the sauce. Okay. So I'm just going to talk through the recipe. So you're going to saute the onions and the fennel. You're going to add the garlic and cook that down. So the whole cooking process takes about 5 to 7 minutes just to get everything soft and caramelized. Once it's all soft and caramelized, I'm going to
Put the chicken back in.
one more
Not
thing.
yet.
One more thing. Yeah. Okay.
And I'll say to our audience, if there are any questions, also please do let us know.
Okay. So we're putting a little butter in for a little extra flavor. So you'll put the butter in and melt that, and then we'll add the chicken. Okay. So this recipe is about developing the flavors, setting it up, and letting it cook on its own. So once the vegetables are soft and caramelized, I'm going to add the chicken back.
It's smelling delicious.
Okay.
So Paula, one of the questions that we received before the show today was because of food apathy, people with Parkinson's disease maybe aren't as motivated to eat or have a hard time becoming excited for meals. And someone wrote in and said one of their solutions or tricks that they've found is having small meals. So eating several small healthy meals or snacks throughout the day instead of trying to prepare larger meals. And their question was, do you have suggestions for healthy snacks?
So our handout that we're going to give you and provide on our website does have a bunch of healthy snacks, but I'd like people to try and think of how can I get some protein in my meal and how can I get a little bit of flavor. So I like something like some oatmeal with some Greek yogurt in it or chopped nuts in it or even a scoop of almond butter.
Mm-hmm.
For breakfast, I like even just making muffins with eggs. That would be a nice idea, or even making half sandwiches, because sometimes it's the portion that's intimidating or overwhelming. So even a half sandwich, a cup of soup, and a few slices of crackers and cheese, or a Greek yogurt. So it doesn't have to be a whole meal. It doesn't have to be a whole production. It has to be things that are simple and easy, and something that you like as well. Okay.
That sounds great.
Okay. So as this
Can
cooks,
can we just show
oh sure, yeah.
tilt it towards the
So it's
camera?
cooking and it's getting smelly and smelling delicious.
This is the episode of all of our
Yeah.
word
Okay.
mistakes.
Yes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the broth. So this is a cup and a half of apple cider, fresh local apple cider.
The best.
It's good. Then this is chicken stock, which has more flavor than the chicken broth.
Is that true?
Yes.
I never knew that.
And then it has, this is apple cider vinegar. Like I said, we want to have that mother, so we have that probiotics in it. So apple cider vinegar with a mother. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then we are going to forget about it, and we're going to move on to the next recipe. But if we don't come back with a lot of time, what you're going to do is you're going to take some more apple cider and a little bit of cornstarch. And what this is going to do is this is going to help thicken your sauce. So you're going to make a slurry with this. But right now, what we're gonna do is we're going to cook the chicken, and we're gonna leave the pot open so the sauce can cook down and the chicken could cook, and we're just gonna have like a low boil to try and get it to thicken. Okay, and I'll show you one more time without, not really sure. Yeah, there you go.
Almost.
Okay,
It
okay.
smells delicious.
So after it cooks for about 25 to 30 minutes, you're gonna check if it's done. You're gonna pull all the chicken out and put it on the side on a clean plate. And then you're gonna add the cornstarch and apple cider mixture back to the pot. And then what you'll do is you're gonna get it to a little bit of a slow boil to cook it out for like 3 to 5 minutes and to thicken the sauce. And then you'll put the chicken back in and you can serve it with your family. You might wanna cook it for a few more minutes just to get the chicken hot, but then you'll enjoy it. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So that was the harvest apple cider chicken. We are going to move to the warm delicata squash, mushroom, green beans, and apple salad, which sounds delicious. Why don't we start first? Go
With the
ahead.
shallots. Start with the
We
shallots.
will. So part of this salad is warm and part of it is not. So we're going to start with the warm part of the salad first. We'll start by sauteing the shallots.
And
We have 2 shallots that are diced.
And while she sautés the shallots, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to make the delicata squash.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
And we have one here.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everyone about the skin? Because I didn't know this.
Yeah, so delicata squash, when it cooks, the skin is very soft. But if you have any chewing problems or you feel uneasy about it, you can always peel it. Okay? It gives it a little more color if you keep it in the dish, but it does soften up. So we're doing half circles. You cut it in half, you cut the seeds out. You cut the seeds out, you cut it in half, scoop the seeds out, and then cut it in like half-inch half moons. Okay, then what you do is you put it in the oven at 450 for 10 minutes, and they're gonna caramelize on one side and get soft. You don't need to flip it. We're trying to minimize, the steps.
All right, so the shallots are cooking. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic.
Okay. Okay. And then what I want you to do is I want you to do the mushrooms first.
Okay, let's do it. So we'll put the mushrooms in. We have 8 ounces of sliced shiitake mushrooms. I love shiitake mushrooms. They're my favorite.
Okay. And what you're doing is you're trying to caramelize them. The reason why I like to use the shiitake mushrooms is because they have a lot of flavor and a lot of bite to them. Sometimes people use a meatless meal or a vegetarian type choice, and they use shiitake mushrooms because they have a very meaty type texture without being meat.
I think I'll add a little bit of salt.
Yeah. Okay. And also I'm going to take my time, which is about a bouquet of time for the flavor of the chicken, and I'm going to stick it in the pot. And I'm going to turn up the heat so this could boil a little bit.
All right, and I do have an eye on the time. I'm going to let the mushrooms cook for a few more minutes. I want them to get a little bit soft. And then I'm going to add the green beans. The green beans probably won't take more than 3 or 4 minutes to cook and become that nice bright green color that you want to see. And that'll be the hot portion of the salad. Question, yes?
Can you use rosemary instead of the thyme?
Yes, you could
Love
use
that.
any warm spice that's going to give you a little bit of flavor. That's a great idea. It depends what you have available too. Sometimes,
Garden.
oh, it's in the garden, even
that's
better.
even better. I love that. While the mushrooms cook, why don't we go to our special segment? We do this every month. We make a delicious, nutritious recipe with a secret ingredient, and we share it with our colleagues, see if they can guess what it is. So why don't we go to Believe It or Not?
Would you like to try my pumpkin pie?
Very good.
It's pretty good.
That's really good. Not bad.
Very yummy.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
It's very pumpkin-y.
It's actually sweet potato.
Oh,
No way. I would never know that of a sweet potato.
I never would think it was a sweet potato. Very, very tasty.
So this is not pumpkin.
It's not pumpkin.
Is this pumpkin?
It's actually, believe it or not, it's sweet potato.
Okay. Really? That's very good. It's so good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have more?
So these are amazing, spectacular bars that our colleagues were able to sample, and we have some for our live audience guests today. They are delicious.
So what the secret ingredient is, these are actually, we call them pumpkin bars, but they're actually sweet potato. And the reason why I chose to use sweet potato as recipe is because it's a little sweeter. It has a little bit different texture than the pumpkin pie, but it's sweeter, so we ended up using less sugar and healthier ingredients. So it actually has a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of antioxidant-rich olive oil in the crust, and it has walnuts and oats and pecans in the crust. So it's very flavorful. It's a good substitution for the pumpkin pie because sometimes the pumpkin pie has a lot of extra sugar. So we're trying to reduce the inflammation, make a healthier item, and make something that tastes great. So just to give you a peek on our chicken is looking good. It still needs some time to cook, but it is cooking really nicely. It's starting to smell really nicely, and I'm just going to give it a stir.
And I'm quickly going to make the dressing for the salad. I have half a cup of olive oil in here, quarter cup of vinegar,
Apple cider vinegar
apple cider
again.
vinegar, and I'm going to add a little bit of mustard,
Okay.
a little bit of
Maple syrup.
maple syrup.
So we like to use the pure maple syrup instead of, which you can also use honey, whatever you have in hand. You just want to use something that's pure instead of a sugar. So you want to use something that's a pure sweetener.
A little bit of salt and pepper. I'll shake it up.
Shake it up. Okay.
Easy.
So this is coming along nicely. Sarah did a great job. We want to make sure the greens are still green. So they still have that bite or that
All right, I'm going to go ahead and plate this.
Okay, so we're going to just switch it out for the one that is. Hold on.
I wish that happened in my kitchen.
I know.
All right.
Okay. And I'm also going to get the cooked one out of the oven as well. To
So
switch that
I'm
around.
putting the cooked mushrooms and green beans on the platter first. Oh, this looks so good. Okay. And on top of that, I am putting the cooked squash, which looks absolutely delicious.
So one of the things to mention too is when we talk about healthy cooking and healthy eating, the big thing that we want to focus in on is just trying to make it, like we said, appetizing, flavorful, seasonal. A lot of things that we do here, we try and use seasonal and local fruits and vegetables, so it works with what's going on with our bodies as the seasons are changing and the foods are changing, and we're looking for warmer foods as the heat leaves us, although it was very hot this weekend. I'm working towards warmer spices, warmer foods to try and get a little bit of comfort.
You can use the oven too, which is so nice, warms up the entire
Yeah.
kitchen. So I'm putting a little bit of the dressing on top.
Okay. And I like to say salad because it's full of vegetables, but the warm salad also just gives us a nice change. Okay. And you put in the raw sliced apples, thinly sliced, to give a little bit of crunch. If you're someone that likes nuts, you can put a little bit of nuts together. So you really can be creative and
There
just
we
notice
go.
the colors. That's what I want you to notice. Notice the colors, and you're gonna have taste of the flavors. Okay.
And I always think of what you said in one of our first episodes. How many fruits and vegetables do you want to try and get?
You want to try and go for 30 a week or
So-
five a day, but you
We
already have
so
four
many in one dish. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take out the thyme.
Here.
Get it right
You
here.
got it? Okay.
Okay, and you can also see, I'm gonna use the pot holders because it's really hot. But you can see how how this has reduced down. And it's caramelized and it smells amazing.
It really does.
Okay.
Paula, this was incredible. Thank you.
Yeah, so let's just talk a little bit more about this food apathy, because one of the things is I'm always very, very concerned about malnutrition and weight loss with our patients. And when I think of someone living with Parkinson's disease, I really want to make sure they're eating 3 meals a day. They're trying to get good sources of protein in to keep them their muscles strong. And as we have when you're working with people that don't really feel like eating, you have to kind of present the protein first, present the protein in a tasty manner, and present a lot of like these colorful fruits and vegetables. The other,
Try some?
1 minute.
Okay.
The other thing I want to try and focus in on is I want to try and make sure everybody has good GI habits and good bowel movements. So adding this apple cider vinegar to our recipes, adding fruits and vegetables that give us fiber from whether it's the fruits and vegetables or the oats and the nuts from the sweet dessert. That's going to give you some fiber. We're trying to get regular bowel movements, and to get the regular bowel movements, you really need to just constantly bring in fruits and vegetables, constantly drink a lot of water, constantly get in those good probiotics. And that's why a lot of our recipes focus on the apple cider vinegar, because it gives us those flavors as well.
I love it.
Okay, so let's taste it and see
Yeah.
what Sarah thinks. I need to just get a tongue or something to get some of this chicken out. Okay,
Here, another plate here.
all right.
And while you serve that, just want to let everybody know that we'll be back next month. We were going to bring in a special guest this month, and there was a scheduling snafu, but we will be back next month with a very special guest talking about speech and swallow and chewing. So please make sure to come join us or tune in if you missed the live filming, and let's give this a taste.
Okay, so it's very, very hot because it just came out of the oven, but the chicken is
solid.
literally falling apart, and that's what it's great. I want to just show you one more time.
Oh my God, it's incredible. It's so good.
Okay, so the chicken is really falling apart on the bone, but it's really caramelized. The sauce has come down. The secret to that sauce is that apple cider vinegar and apple cider, the apple cider vinegar and the broth. What that does is that really softens the chicken as we braise it.
And you can taste all the spices.
Yeah.
It's a little sweet. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
You've outdone yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. Tune in next month. And remember,
Eating well tastes
tastes great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.